Activate the mission computer, alright. Oh, we have level ups. Hey look, our team has leveled up. Spirits never break away in the first 2 rounds after summoning them. I don't know if I'm ever gonna summon spirits. Goblet spends more time in the firing range, increasing her range combat skill and SMG specialization by 1. Probably that one? Gain Rat Totem Destroy Spirit. Does 99 damage to any hostile spirit. Can only be used on spirits, okay. Steal Spirit. Can steal control of spirits that have been summoned by enemy shamans. Only one spirit can be under control until rank 5 spirit control, where it increases to 2, okay. Augment Poison Fog. Acidic Fog, doing AP damage. Alright, that sounds cool. Summon Shrine Spirits. Summoned by goblins are now present for an additional turn before dispelling themselves, for a total of 3 rounds. Plague Barrier. A conjuring spell, 4 heavy cover barriers that last 3 rounds. Anyone that enters take... Oh, what? Wait a minute. It sets 4 heavy cover barriers that last 3 rounds. Anyone that enters take damage. So it's heavy cover, but when you go in, you get hurt? I don't understand. Because cover is a positive, you can use it to defend. But if you go into the cover, you get hurt. I don't know. Haste, a new version of the haste spell that harnesses latent wild magic of Hong Kong. Channel haste increases friendly target AP by 1 for 4 rounds. Goblet accuracy is increased by 15%. Consume spirit can consume spirits to imbue herself with their power. Consuming a spirit heals Goblet for 20 HP. I'm gonna give her more gun. I don't know if I'm gonna summon spirits all that much. But I will like steal other people's spirits though. I'm gonna select that. Sabotage. Augment weapon mini launcher. Can now fire remote mines which can be triggered to detonate at will. Gain program Tar Blaster. Tar Blaster 1.0. Upgrade the version of Blaster that also sticks enemies in place for 1 round. I don't think I ever used the mini launcher. Pistol ability. Aim shot. Or steady shot. Mark target. Reduces target's armor by 1. Isabel's mini launcher is now packed with napalm charges, igniting damaged targets. Targets on fire will take additional 6 HP points. That sounds kind of cool, actually. Boost program increases persona speed while sneaking in the matrix by 40%. Does not stack with other boost programs. Bright light system. High energy flash bulbs hidden in a cyber eye, capable of temporarily blinding an opponent. Cyberware jolt alert system. If the user is brought to a stun state, they'll be jolted awake with 1 AP. Augment mini launcher. Strips 1 armor with every normal shot. Maybe I should go for the mini launcher. Pain suppression. While a spell is jacked into the matrix, attacks on the physical body are reduced by 3 damage. I mean, no, I should probably go. No, I'm gonna go for the decking. Because I don't have another decker. She's the only decker I have. So I'm gonna, like, make her as good as possible at decking. Because she's the only one who can deck. And so whenever we deck anywhere, it's gonna be her. So we're gonna make sure that she's good at that. Firepower round. Gains assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo. Additional 2 damage and pierce 2 armor. Crowd control. Underslung beanbag. Duncan gains a rifle ability that does 2 AP damage and imbalances targets. making them easy to hit on subsequent attacks. This ability cannot do critical damage. Two AP damage. So it stuns them and makes them easier to hit afterwards. This one is armor piercing and does additional damage. I think I'm go for the stun. Lethal force, crowd control. Oh, so this is lethal and this is crowd control is non-lethal, huh? Subdue ability has a cooldown reduced from 3 rounds to... Oh, subdue... Wait, we haven't used his subdue at all. So his... He has a non-lethal. Throw back incoming grenades is pretty funny. I'm gonna go for the stun. Alright, the stun, the decking, and the guns. Confirm all. Crew advancement available, I just did it. Right, yeah, just did it. Alright, so now the shopkeepers might sell stuff to me. Is there like a magic shop? Smooth jazz strips from cheap speakers on this barge. A wide array of worn-down drones litter the battered deck. Most are utility and domestic type, but a few, cordoned off from the others, are low-end security models. The salesman smiles indulgently at you, a tall, lanky human of clear Cantonese ancestry. He's wearing a cheap suit and limply clutching a smelly cigarillo. He adjusts his tie with an exaggerated nonchalance. Languid, ostentatious, like an American casino promoter. Hey there, beautiful. Welcome to our little floating heaven. You've got a discerning look to you. What brings you to Reliable Matthew's Robot Bazaar? He taps Ash over a bulky cleaning drone beside him. Not waiting for an answer, he continues. Perhaps you're looking for a hexacopter as a guide to Hong Kong, or a little handheld tarantula beauty to brew your tea. You're Reliable Matthew. That's right, Reliable Matthew Shun. Reliable Matthew Shun at your service. He extends his hand to shake. The odors of peach-scented moisturizer and stale tobacco smoke wash over you. How about it? Bow politely. Good day. I'm here to shop. I don't want to take up your valuable time. Shake his hand. Pleasure to meet you, Reliable Matthew. Shake his hand. Let's get down to business. Stare intently to see the shop. Pleasure to meet you, Reliable Matthew. Always, always. Welcome to our little patch of peace on the river. I think you'd really love Heoi. It's just a fantastic place. Well, now that we're acquainted, maybe I can brighten up your day a bit. What's on your robot list, friend? I'm interested in your combat models. Reliable Matthew looks over his shoulder at the security drones, some heavily cannibalized, in the corner of the yard. He turns back at you with a nervous smile. Funny you should ask. I just gotten a Doberman that I'm selling at an incredible bargain price. Shall we take a look? Yes. Let's take a look at the security drones, all of them. So I can't use these. Old Lone Star Hover Drone, Small Automatic Burst Turret, Close Range Weapon Upgrade. Hey, these drones are more interesting than from the first game. Mobile Pharmacy, Medkit on Wheels, Basic Combat Drone, Support Drone, like a smoke trail wherever you need it the most. Cargo Carrier, Ballistic Line on Street Clothes, offer a bit of protection. 3 armor. I guess I want armor? Jin, what do you have, Jin? As you approach the small building, you see 3 men, 2 elders and a younger man, hunched over a go board. The juxtaposition of the 2 white-haired, white-bearded men and the black-haired man is almost comical. Together the 3 resemble the small black and white stones of their game. Despite the variety of ambient distractions, the 3 men remain acutely focused on the game. One of the elders, a round-faced man with a beatific smile, carefully picks up a black stone and places it on the board. His opponent snorts, and a small smile flashes across his long face. Almost carelessly, he snatches a white stone and deposits it on the board. The smiling man groans, and the long-faced one proceeds to collect several black pieces off the board. Ah, you got me there, Jin. Shu and Jin. He laughs, a pleasant, full sound. As it trails off, he spots you watching the game. A broad smile brightens his cheeks. Why, hello there, young man. Something you need? The long-faced man gives you a cursory look and continues to collect black stones. Just a gawk issue, it's your turn. The name's SCKC. Got a second to answer a question or two? Shu nods. I could use a short break. How about you, Jin? Jin sighs, shoulders slumping forward. After a moment of scowling, he reluctantly speaks. Fine. A short break. The 2 elders turn towards the younger man. He looks to be in his early 30s, but it's difficult to tell. The skin on his face is smooth and supple, with only the suggestion of creases at the eyes, mouth, and forehead. But small gestures, a blink, a flare of his nostrils, briefly reveal the lines of his face. The man's eyes rise from the go board and study the elders. He nods. What's this, guys? I've been hearing about strange dreams here in Heoi. Have you had any nightmares recently? The 3 men exchange looks. Shu turns to you. What a coincidence. Wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We have been having bad dreams, every one of us. Interesting. You mind sharing? I've had them myself. We should compare notes. What did you dream about? Is that right? Jean leans in and stares at you. Can't say I'm comfortable with giving a stranger details about my dreams. Shu waves his hand dismissively at Jin. Don't mind him, he's always been a poor sport. But he raises a good point. Some of our dreams contain information best left private, just as yours do, I'm sure. Having just met, how can we be sure that you respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cuts through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and he locks his eyes. Dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny onto yours. He nods and returns his gaze to the goal board. I believe you're trustworthy. Please, SCKC, make yourself comfortable. I'll share my dream with you. Lao is his name. Alright, I'm listening. He exhales slowly, then begins speaking. I dreamed of a long, dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length. So I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me. But upon taking that first step, I found myself instead drawn down an alleyway to my left. It wasn't there before, this alley. It appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. They all stood there, silently watching me with smiles on their faces. And as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow I knew that if I followed this road to the end, I could have everything I ever dreamed of, but I woke before I could reach it. He folds his hands in his lap. There's a moment of silence before Shu speaks up, the rosiness in his cheeks having drained away. I too saw the long hall. My own experience was different, however. The hall was far off in the distance, and I was looking down on it from a strange angle, as though I were perched on a wall high above. He pauses and looks at you. You know, young man, SCKC, you look very much like the person I saw walking that hall. He moved steadily down the path, walking at an even pace. and just behind him a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course, I didn't have the best view up there on the wall, or wherever I was. It could have been anyone. Perhaps this old mind of mine is seeing your face now and misremembering the dream. He lets out a chuckle, and a small flush of red returns to his cheeks. He looks over at Jin. Alright, Jin, go ahead. Jin broods in his corner, arms crossed and jaws set. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense. Master Lao and I have both told him our dreams. Now it's your turn. Jin sticks out his lower lip. No. It's fine. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I don't want to force you to do anything. Spit it out already. I think I've heard enough. Thanks for sharing. I don't want to force you to do anything. He holds his palm up towards you and looks at Shu. See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to. Jin. Lao's voice is firm but soft. This is important. Jin's mouth opens and closes like a gasping fish, but as he looks at Lao, his body relaxes, and a sadness seems to take hold of his features. Alright, but don't you go repeating any of this, you hear me? He takes in a deep breath and slowly releases it, folds his hands in his lap. My dream began as a nightmare. I dreamed of the failures and mistakes that I've made throughout my life. The people I've let down, the competitors I've crushed, the wife who died in hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned. A change comes over him, his eyes brighten and he continues energetically, but then I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it, and its door opened to me, and when I passed inside, all of my guilt fell away. It was as though the city had absolved me, had washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy. As his remembrance ends, so does his lightened mood. His face shrinks into a pout, and he stares grumpily at the ground. There, I did it. You happy? Lao nods slowly. Thank you, Jin. You have my thanks, too. Yeah. Now can we change the subject? My ulcer's acting up. Alright, so you walk down a corridor. So Lao walks down the corridor. He feels like if he could reach the destination, everything will be great, but he never reaches it. He wakes up. Shu is just watching me and a shadow following me. Jin goes to the walled city and he's happy. He is absolved of all his guilt and he's happy. I don't know what any of that means. I'm guessing you've been around these parts longer than I have. Is this sort of thing normal? If it were normal, we wouldn't be huddled around discussing them in whispers now, would we? Enough of that, Jin. SCKC here asked in earnest for our advice. He deserves a proper response. Shu gives you a gentle smile. Please forgive our friend. Bitter years have left him suspicious of others. The answer to your question is no. Upsetting dreams have never been uncommon in Heoi, but these recent visitations have been different. They've been darker, more vivid, stronger than normal dreams. Last night I felt consumed by the sense that something was coming. While my friends here felt a sense of relief and excitement as their dreams ended, I felt as though I was sitting on the precipice of some vast and terrible chasm, with the void yawning beneath my feet. Suddenly his cheeks flush. He blinks twice, then looks away. But perhaps these are just the ramblings of an old man. Please forgive me. He scratches his nose, embarrassed. You speak wisely, Shu. It is foolish to embrace a thing that you did not understand. What Jin and I saw in our dreams was alluring, but so is the light to a moth. Your instincts are still strong and sharp, my old friend. It is wise of you to trust them. Shu bows deeply, his eyes to the ground. Thank you. I can only hope these dreams do lead to something beautiful. There is already enough deception in this world. Jin groans loudly. Can we get back to the game now? I don't want to keep you. Of course, stop by again sometime soon, SCKC. Your company has been refreshing. Thanks, good luck with the game. Appreciate it, young man. We'll be seeing you. Alright. So a bunch of dudes playing Go, talking about dreams.